These are the Depends I wear every day. These are by Assurance, and these are a size large. And it's like I wear these every day of my life because of my diabetes. And I don't have a bathroom handy. So I have to wear these all the time.
That is former Sergeant in the Army, Marlene Wolf, Army veteran, who is currently homeless, as you see, living in a tent. Living in a tent. Today, we are going to talk about systematic breakdowns. Systematic breakdowns. And let me just show y'all this. Oh, where'd it go? Guess you can't see it. Anywho, well, systematic breakdowns. Thank you for joining. Could have been anywhere, but you decided to stop and stay here. So I want to thank you for that. If you can tell me who you are and where you are joining from, that would be great. So I just played a video, and I'm going to play it again throughout. Just remind me, because I have to introduce you all to her, because what we're watching, what we're witnessing right now, and this isn't my first time on this rodeo, seeing a homeless veteran not able to use benefits. And I'm talking about housing benefits. This veteran who we just saw in Charlottesville, Virginia, is 72, senior veteran with a HUD-VASH voucher. However, she's in a tent. I see some folks just joining.
These are the Depends I wear every day. These are by Assurance, and these are a size large. And it's like I wear these every day of my life because of my diabetes. And I don't have a bathroom handy. So I have to wear these all the time.
Oh, so that's, let me see, let me play y'all another introduction of her, because she's been with me since August of 2025. That's when she found me on social media. Oh my God. Here's one right here.
And I have, and Jose have gone through. Like when we came out of the, Army, Salvation Army shelter and stuff like that, Jose, we were together. And when it comes down to it, it was in February when we came out of that shelter. It was cold. It was real cold. And there was times he took money where he had earned money at the Army and put us in a hotel and stuff, and he paid that out of his pocket. And it's like I've been doing that some lately too, because to try to keep us warm.
I know.
because in the tent a few nights ago, it got real cold. And so we put the full-size bed in the truck, in the back of the truck. That way, we can crank the truck and we can be warm.
Hello. Good afternoon, Yvette. Hey, we're doing a little cooking here. We're going to have some pork chops.
Pork chops
With mojo on it.
with the mojo on it.
And then we got some yellow rice.
The yellow rice.
That we will be warming up on the grill. And then we have sweet potatoes, which are good for diabetics.
Diabetical meal for your favorite little Sunday afternoon.
Yes. In other words, we're having a good meal today.
Oh my God. We need a shower too after all this.
That will be something tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight. I'm gonna take a shower out here.
So that was in August, and now it's November. And I'll tell you what the system breakdown is, why this senior veteran and her caregiver are still homeless with a 2-bedroom housing voucher, a HUD-VASH voucher that's meant to house homeless veterans. What happened to her was tragic. She served in our U.S. Army, a couple tours of duty, and she owned a home. She owned a home that was fully paid for on 3 acres of land, and somebody scammed her out of that house and stole it right from under her. And that's how she became homeless. And as a veteran, where do you go? You go to the VA. Hey, I'm a veteran. When I was homeless, I went to the VA. I'm like, don't you still take care of me? The same way former Sergeant Marlene Wolf feels. Don't you still take care of me? So she has a 2-bedroom voucher in Charlottesville, Virginia, since April. No, let me see. Yes, since April, because she became homeless in January, and her voucher was issued in April. So they were able to stay in a shelter for a little while, but you heard her in that video. And if you didn't see the video, let me know, and I'll replay those videos, or just come back and watch this live in the beginning so that you can see the videos of former Sergeant Marlene Wolf and her caregiver. Both are homeless with a HUD-VASH voucher. Now, I'm a realtor, and I have housed over 5,000 homeless veterans during my 22 plus years at housing homeless veterans. I know how to house a homeless veteran. I know how to use the resources that they have to get them housed. I know how to help them find resources and obtain resources for housing. And that's what I teach you all how to do through my publications. So everything I'm talking about, you can go get a book from my library, and where are they at? Right here. And buy a book. I'm just telling y'all what happened and how the community can resolve this issue of homeless veterans with federal funds. As I stated, I've been housing homeless veterans now for over 22 years as a realtor. And I wrote this book right here to teach other realtors how to do the same and get a commission. We can't work for free. This is a lot of work, and it's real estate. We are using investors' properties to move these homeless veterans with funding to their units. And we get a commission, a rental commission doing that. So this veteran in Charlottesville, Virginia, has what's called a housing choice voucher. And thank you all for being here. And if you have not stopped to like my page and follow me, please do so at this time if you can. I don't really know how that works, but but yeah, please follow me and also share this video because I've been doing this for over 22 years at the VA, and I've been housing a lot of people, a lot of veterans who come to the VA. These are my workshops at the Jesse Brown VA and at the VetMentors in the city of Chicago. So I never had to come live to talk about this, to teach anybody how to do this, because I was comfortable in my own confine. When I did write a class back in 2014, 2015, I taught it 2016, I believe, those 3 years, to teach realtors in the community how to work effectively with not just veterans, because I couldn't say just that in my class. My class was a Section 8 housing choice voucher, legal issues. And in that class, I taught realtors how to work with the housing choice voucher, with the Section 8 voucher. And that class was a Core B class, started at Main Street Organization of Realtors. I was referred to teach it at and taught it at Chicago Association of Realtors, Three Rivers Association, and brokerages hired me as well to teach some realtors at their brokerage. But it didn't pan out too well, because you're working with poor people with public funds, federal funds. Some agents, they just don't care for that, because it is more work. This voucher is like 16, it's like 16 pages that you have to fill out. And the whole packet of information, it's a lot. It's a lot of paperwork. And is more, I do both now, rentals and sales. So the paperwork doesn't bother me at all. So in comparison to a 8.0 contract and all the disclosures I guess it's still a lot of paperwork. Because this is just the first set of papers that you got to fill out. And then when the contract comes, you've got to do the lease and then the disclosures and make sure, and then some more documents from the HCV office. So it's a lot of paperwork. And that's what some agents don't like. But to me, it's just paperwork. You're going to do paperwork for a sale, or you're going to do paperwork when you're helping buyers buy or sell, and you're going to do paperwork when you're helping a renter rent. Even if it's not Section 8, you still got paperwork. So to me, it's no biggie. But to some agents, and then I gotta wait. You gotta wait for a sale for a transaction to go to closing. So to me, it's the same thing. You gotta wait until this process is complete. So I've been doing that for over 22 years, housing homeless veterans with this paperwork. And that's just one pool of money. That's the Section 8 voucher. And for realtors who want to learn how to do that, you can go to my bio and buy a book. I teach you how to do all of that in this book and more. So that's just one bucket of money. Then you have these organizations that are called SSVF, and that is Supportive Services for Veteran Families. And this SSVF money right here for fiscal year 2026 is in the range of over $900 million in these two packets alone. So this is more money that a veteran could gain access to only if they knew. Only if they knew. And that's why I'm here again. Now, I can't help everybody, but I can. I certainly can. So for those who come on and say that I need help, okay, if you're a homeless veteran, I can help you. Those who say, Yvette, we should not have homeless veterans, and I'm just wondering, how can I help? Well, I invite you to go to my bio and read the descriptions, which are titles of my books, and get some books and start educating yourself. That's why I wrote these. For realtors who say, realtors can make, I made a 6-figure commissionable income countless of years in just housing homeless veterans, from homeless to home ownership and everything in between, because veterans have to go somewhere as a renter. Or they might have to go somewhere transitionally. And if they have to go somewhere transitionally, then they're going to have to go to somebody's veteran shared living model, one of these. So I would suggest you get this book, because this is where this $900 million is used in transitional housing and some permanent housing. Like there's one of my favorite agencies here. Well, I got a few favorite agencies here in Chicago, because I know where the money is, and I know where those veterans are going to come from to use that money on rental units that I have in my inventory to house them in as a realtor. And as the realtor, my investor has to pay the commission, because I found him or her a tenant who's paying rent. So that's a business, whether they're getting the HUD-VASH voucher or any of this $900 million that's floating around our community. So let me tell you like this. After 22 years of housing homeless veterans, this, again, I'm going to tell you, is my first time coming on live to talk about this, to tell anybody. Because when I talked about it live back in 2014, 16, 17, and whenever a realtor would say, hey, Yvette, how do you get paid? And I tell them, I create a transaction. And that transaction is a commission. And now this homeless veteran is housed. I wish somebody had did that for me when I was a homeless veteran. I really do. But because they didn't, I'm here to fight so hard for these homeless veterans to get the type of treatment that I never received. And I'm here to teach you how to do it. I'm not even going to say I was forced here, when the new administration in the White House took over and they started, closing down all of these agencies within the government, that also affected volunteers like myself. Hold on a second. I'd like to show intel. So this is my badge that I was given as a volunteer. Where's a volunteer? As a volunteer, right there. Can you see that? So I was a volunteer for 22 years as a volunteer. Now, I didn't have that badge all 22 years, but I was able to go in the VA and conduct workshops, not just to veterans, as you see here, right here, not just to veterans, but to social workers, case managers, program managers, because they like, Yvette, we need to know what you're teaching our social workers. Well, come on in, because you need to know too, girl. I had workshops at the city colleges, which I still do. We just got to put me back on a schedule. City colleges of Chicago for the veterans who attend city colleges. Cook County Corrections, because we have veterans who are being released from incarceration. And where do they go? Where do they go if they don't have a family? Well, they could go with you in your veteran shared living model, because in just as involved, it teaches you how to create that model to get aligned with federal funds. Because people keep asking me, oh, I keep going to the VA and I'm not getting any help from the social workers. Well, it may not be their job, and you can't force that on them. These social workers have specific things to do. And if it's not their job to say, okay, well, I'm going to help you fill up your veteran shared living model, I'm going to send all the homeless veterans to you. If that's not their job, then you're still going to be walking around talking about, I can't find anybody to help me. Understand this. A social worker, let me give you a social worker in one of my favorite departments, homeless walk-in. That social worker is primarily concerned with who can get approved for a HUD-VASH voucher. Pretty much, that's it. If they cannot get approved with the HUD-VASH voucher, then they got to go somewhere else. Well, where do they go? If that social worker, and I also have a book to teach social workers because I've done it so long. This is the book that teaches social workers how to help veterans who don't even qualify for HUD-VASH. That's in this book. You know how to use the checklist, the intake. So if they don't qualify for HUD-VASH and the social worker says, well, you know what, let me see if there are any other organizations in town that could service you until you can do better. So one of my favorite, well, I got several favorite organizations here in Chicagoland area, but one of my favorite organizations, and I can just pick up the phone and say, hey, or text and say, hey, I would contact him and say, you got some money, because I have a veteran with a wife and 3 children who have just been put out, and all of their things are going to be put out tomorrow. And yes, I just got the phone call today. He says, okay, Vet, what's going on with him? Before you refer him to me, what's going on? I tell him, oh yeah, he sounds like we could help. So refer him to them. He was with them for 4 years under Supportive Services for Veteran Family Funding, under that one organization. for 4 years. Why? Because he continued to qualify. So in this field of housing homeless veterans, if you think you're just going to pop up on the scene and say, I got a house and I need some veterans to house, working within the governmental system, at the VA, at these SSVF organizations that have the use of over $900 million, it's not going to come that easy to you. But you say that why? Why? We have all of these homeless veterans. I know that. I was here I am. I was a homeless female veteran. When I left the military, my father passed away and my mother moved, and I was in a horrible, horrible marriage with a Marine, and I kept running away, and the VA always sent me back. And when I first went to the VA as a realtor to house homeless veterans, because I had already been housing homeless people before I got to the VA. That was my walk with God, right? Him walking with me. So they like, okay, well, I'm going to come out with you. Where are we going? What unit do you want this veteran to see? Because I'm going to drive. And that's when they used to drive the veterans to see the units, to meet you at the units. And then they just got comfortable. It was so many. I'm not going to say comfortable or lazy, neither of those, because it was just too many homeless veterans. And so my team, I charge my team, you're making these commissions. You got to go pick up your client, and you got to go take your client and choose an apartment, a condo, a house, whatever you have on your schedule for that day for that veteran, because that veteran is coming with money to pay my investors. I did a post and I showed my husband in 2011. I've been housing homeless veterans for over 22 years. So in 2011, I managed this office, a leasing office, and had a managing broker, but he was like, Yvette, I don't know what to do with this, what you do. So I'm like, cool, Jim, you don't have to do nothing except do what you're supposed to do as a managing broker, protect us. And review the contracts and make sure everything is legit, because I never want a blemish on my license. So he did that. And what was I telling y'all? Oh yeah, so they picked up the veterans and took them to see the units. And whatever unit they said they wanted, they were already approved because of this. Section 8, or because of the SSVF funding. And I'll read to you why. One moment, please. I have it in a book. Let me pull it out the binder. Okay, so now we know that voucher is issued to homeless veterans, right? You have to be a homeless veteran. One moment, please. Okay. In the federal government benefits book for veterans, dependents, survivors, and caregivers, in this book, it talks about housing and urban development, veteran affairs, supportive housing, HUD-VASH. That's this right here, HUD-VASH. This is Chicago, but every state has a HUD-VASH, because HUD-VASH is specifically for veterans. We just said that, VASH. Housing, urban development, that's the HUD, HUD, and the VASH is the Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing. So for veterans, it's from the Veteran Affairs. So this is only for veterans. So they get to use this voucher once they get approved by the VA and by HUD. So they're approved when you see this in their hand. Now, everybody knows this is a homeless veteran. This homeless veteran may not come as a full package, may not come with a 600 credit score, may not come with a lot of money, because that's another one of the criteria: low income and homeless. And then a few other things that have to be you have to have 2 doctors, put it that way. So now this veteran, homeless veteran, has moving papers. This then, all you got to do now is find some place to live. So I hope you're following me. And this is a systematic breakdown right here that I have been fighting. And somebody here on YouTube said, you got a mad Black woman. Hell yeah. And then they're going to turn around and say, well, I'm homeless too. Well, you need a mad Black woman to fight for you. But since you got an attitude, yeah. But anyway, you know, it angers me so much. And that's what fuels me to keep going, because of these systems, and people aren't even paying attention. When you say a homeless veteran with a voucher, that means an investor is about to get his rent covered, his mortgage covered, and using this voucher. And I have created so much wealth amongst my investors. They're like selling, using their 1031 exchange to sell those old shabby rink-a-dink properties in the hood, to going to places where I tell them we're going to double your rent. Back in the day, it was 300% over fair market rent. Today is 150% over fair market rent in areas where I consult my clients to go. And they're like, Yvette, you done changed the game. Yeah. And those letters can also be found in my books when you go get them. So now we know this veteran, and all of these veterans have a HUD-VASH voucher because they qualify on that intake, on both of those checklists from the VA, the Veteran Affairs, and also from HUD, Housing Urban Development. These 2 organizations are together right here in this book. They are together. So they together have approved this veteran for these moving papers. Now, where's the breakdown, the systematic breakdown? I wrote it down, which I'm like, I don't even have to write this down because I know it by heart, but I don't want to leave anything out. So when systems that are made and meant to help break down, that's today's topic. You have a homeless veteran. They go to the VA. They're approved. They get approved through HUD, and then they go to the community with these moving papers, and they go see an agent, and then bam, nothing, not a damn thing. They're still homeless because the agent says, okay, we got to do a credit check, a background check, an eviction check. Your income has to be 3 times the amount of rent, which is wrong. And then my investor insists that I come and see where you live, in a tent. So, and you have to pay $65 or whatever that check costs to have your credit ran in the gutter, to have a background check done on you, which they're going to find something because something happened in your life that created you to become homeless. Like Sergeant Marlene Wolf, she lost her home, which was a domino and spiraling effect that created bad credit. So now you want to run the credit. You're going to see a low credit score. You're going to see a lot of debt because I'm trying to survive now. My house was just stolen. Everything I had was just stolen from me. So now you're going to see that on the background. You might see some misdemeanors. So now all of a sudden, and we have this. We have an adverse effect letter from one of these management companies in Charlottesville, Virginia. And two things were on her credit: low credit score and adverse actions. You're denied. And we're going to keep your $125 because they both had to have their credits and background ran. But the VA and HUD says HUD-VASH operating requirements make clear that the program is designed for veterans unable to pass private market screenings under 24 CFR, some little symbol, 982.307A3. Screening criteria cannot violate fair housing laws or obstruct federal protections. Aren't they federally protected? This HUD-VASH voucher is federally protected under the VA for HUD-VASH. Okay, let me continue. Additionally, this is for Virginia. Virginia Code 39-96.3, like radio station, prohibits discrimination based on source of funds, including federal rental assistance such as HUD-VASH. I'm going to take it up a sentence, a paragraph. The credit and financial issues cited are direct consequences of a real estate fraud crime that resulted in the loss of her home. Penalizing her for circumstances outside her control undermines federal protections aimed at preventing veteran homelessness. That's a systematic breakdown. So when this veteran, homeless veteran, who has been issued a HUD-VASH voucher via the federal government, the VA, and HUD, then you get to the community of realtors who don't know what to do except run your credit in the gutter that you have to pay for and then get told no. So now what do you do? Because you're still a homeless veteran. So where do you go from there? You still need some place to live. So you said, forget about that agent. She's not trying to help me. So now you go see another agent or property management company who's going to do the same thing. So that's happened to her 4 times. In addition to when I stepped in and sent a letter to, 31. Oh, let me grab it out. 31 property management companies and private owners. Can you see that? There's the private landlord contact list. And this list was emailed to her and to me. And I'm like, what the hell? She's going to sit in the tent and call all these people. So what I did, I'm techno savvy. I told my chat GPT to extract all the names and the email addresses and write a letter and let them know what we're doing, what we're looking for. 31. I got back 1 response. No, 2 responses. I'll take that back. But the first response was, oh, she already applied. That was this one right here, and was denied. The second one, oh, she can apply, she can apply, she can apply, she can apply, she can apply. How much is it? Oh, 3 times. And then she sent an email. And I'm like, no, that's not what they're asking for. Oh, yeah, we'll take that $3,000 for rent. Yes, we'll take that. That's not how much the rent is. The rent is $1,901. That's how much this voucher will pay. Well, she still has to do a credit check, a background check, another systematic failure. This veteran, senior veteran, 72 years old, with a caretaker on her voucher, are still homeless in a tent because of these systematic failures. In addition to that, put a cherry on top because what is her title? Down out there, I got it on this paper right here. At their housing office, her title is, what's her title? Let me get another letter. Hold on, because I've been writing letters, even letters to Congress. This letter went to Congress, Honorable John J. McGuire the second. His office is in touch with us, but they don't know either. Oh, she has a case manager because I talked to the lead HCV specialist at the Charlottesville Redevelopment and Housing Authority. I'm like, think about this. So what if she has a housing case manager? It's November and she's still homeless. This letter was in August when I wrote these letters. And he come telling me, oh, she has a case manager. I'm like, think about it. Do the math. She received her voucher in April. Count up the months. April, May, June, July, August. She's been homeless 5 months with the voucher. And prior to that, she was homeless from January to April without a voucher. So what if she has a case manager? Ben, she's still homeless. Oh, you're right. So now it's November, Ben. Is there anyone in your congressional district who can put some fire under the housing authority who threatened to terminate her voucher because she's had ample time to find housing? You tell me that's not a systematic breakdown. So the way I've been housing homeless veterans for the past 22 years, and my investors just love me for doing that with them and for them and teaching them their cap rate, baby, bye. You know, I had never known what a cap rate was until my investors started telling me, Yvette, you just increased my cap rate. I'm like, I know. Because you wanted to play the cheap route. You wanted to be in the hood and charge what kind of rent? Because who's going to pay for that? And then what type of people are you going to get to stay? So they're like, oh, you're right. So we started moving them out. And the veterans started moving up into nicer places. I've housed veterans in downtown Chicago condominiums, in areas called opportunity areas on the north side, in the Beverly community. I mean, it's far southeast in Hegewisch. You know, that's where you get most for your money in better areas like that, because the rent for these programs are higher. So let me go ahead and read some of these questions. I'm going to start from the top. Let me put on my glasses. Thank you all for being here. If you have not liked to follow and share, please do so at this time. There's a smudge on my glasses. I got a new award this past Saturday too. So, incredible show. How can we support veterans housing locally? Buy the books and get educated, Michelle. Buy the books. Go to my bio and read the descriptions, which are titles. I've got a book for realtors, a book for social workers, case managers, a book for those who say that I want to do the veterans housing. That's this book. I have a book for those who say that I want to help veterans find resources and housing. That's Finding Home. That's this book. You are a licensed professional and you want to have a licensed care home. So I would suggest getting this book and this book. And you are a veteran who's never used your VA loan and want to, or used it and forgot how, get this book. But everybody in the community, there's a book for you to learn from. Thanks for that amazing question. What's the fastest way someone can help a homeless veteran today? Learn. Learn. There's no fastest way if you don't know how. How do you identify which veterans need housing support first? They tell me. If they're homeless, they need housing support. I don't even understand that question. What program has shown the strongest results in your experience? HUD-VASH, SSVF, all the ones that fund housing. How can small communities get HUD-VASH resources? It's not the community that gets HUD-VASH resources. It's the homeless veteran that gets those resources. But I would suggest you go get some books and read. That's how you learn anything. What's the biggest gap in veteran housing that still need fixing? The systematic barriers that we just covered. The community professionals are not working in unison. How can real estate agents get trained to support these programs? Get the book, A Realtor's Blueprint, The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. I'm also the writer and the publisher. All of these books is what I lived for 22 years plus. How do you handle cases where veterans don't trust the system? It's up to them. Some people won't trust the system. And, you can't make them. Some of them come around, some don't. And you just got to keep moving on. I've learned my lesson in that because they won't do anything. It's up to them to apply for these benefits. What's the one mistake advocates should avoid when starting out? Thinking they know too much, thinking they know anything and don't. How do you measure success in housing advocacy efforts by the veterans who are housed and the veterans who receive their benefits? What's the main barrier veterans face when transitioning to stable housing? The systematic breakdown after they're able to move from transitional housing to permanent housing using a voucher, and the realtor says, "Oh, you're not approved." That's the barrier. Truly inspiring. Thanks for shining a light on this mission. You're welcome, and thanks for being here. Truly inspiring. Thanks for shining a light on this mission. Oh, that was the same message. Is that like a coin message? So that's pretty much all I have for you all today. Go to my bio. I mean, it's just a shame. And I'm watching it play out all over again with Marlene and Jose. I'm watching it play out all over again, where the veteran has the resources. The veteran has the resources to move, but the realtor, the investor, the property management are all saying no. And this is not an isolated incident. It's not an isolated case. I have veterans in New York City with a voucher, veterans in South Carolina with vouchers. Las Vegas, did he have a voucher? No, he didn't have a voucher. I got him connected with SSVF funding. Veterans in Hawaii, same thing. It doesn't matter where. It's because the systematic breakdown. The veteran gets the voucher, they go to the community, and the community turns their nose up at them. You're homeless. We have nothing to offer you. You have nothing to give, which is so wrong. It's so wrong. And I keep on knocking on the door of the associations, the realtor associations that can lend a light. Open, that's why I'm here live. That's why I'm here live, to go national. Everybody can learn how to house homeless veterans. You say you care. You say we shouldn't have homeless veterans. Some days I'm like, y'all really don't give a damn. For real. I really do. Because this is something new that you're waking up to and saying, oh, we can house homeless veterans? Yeah, you can, but you have to learn. And then guess what? Then we have, oh, I got to read a book. Why can't you just tell me? Tell you what? In 22 years, tell you all of this and more? It's so refreshing when you know how to do it yourself. And you can go to the community and say, you know what? This is what I learned. And this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to teach others, because now I'm going to do a workshop and another workshop and more workshops. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. If you have not clicked to like, to share, do all of that good stuff. Ring the bell. Let me play Marlene.
Hello. Good afternoon, Yvette. Hey, we're doing a little cooking here. We're going to have some.
Okay, so that was in August when the weather was still nice, where they could be outside and cook. Okay, this is in November.
These are the Depends I wear every day. These are by Assurance, and these are a size large. And it's like I wear these every day of my life because of my diabetes. And I don't have a bathroom handy. So I have to wear these all the time.
Yep, she has a 2-bedroom voucher in Charlottesville, Virginia. And those agents in Charlottesville and the property managers in Charlottesville, the congressman's office in Charlottesville, the state legislation office in Charlottesville, the National Association, wherever they are, those realtors, nobody, because of the systematic breakdown. So now her voucher is being threatened to be terminated because she can't find any place to live. Well, what happened to all the damn realtors? Isn't that their job to move people? If I can house over 5,000 homeless veterans, you can too. You can too. It's just one, it's like one light bulb goes off. So buy my book for realtors, the Realtor Blueprint, and let me know, email me, let me know you got it, and I'll invite you to my private group. It's just too much. It's too much for me to be up here telling y'all what to do. So read and then learn some more, because it's not that easy. It's easy once you learn it, but trying to learn it, and I have a lot of my investor clients telling me, Yvette, I keep trying and nobody's answering the phone, because that's not the way you do it. You know, it's like a secret society. And you have to know how to approach the situation and who to go to. It's like government contracting. I'm still trying to figure that water out. So until I do, I'm over here teaching you how to get connected with your local agencies, including the right people at the VA and the SSVF organizations that have the money to pay you for housing their homeless veterans in your city and your town. So buy a book, because I don't just come on here telling all y'all my everything. Buy a book, support me, learn how to do it, get in my group, and explode. I'm serious. I'm so serious. So I got some awards back there. Let me show y'all my awards. Some of you might be new. Okay, this award came from the Main Street Organization of Realtors 2025 from the president. This award came from Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. Let me see. Illinois Women Leaders of 2025. So I got these two, and then it's another one back there that's glass. And then I got another one over the weekend. One moment, please. Okay, this is from 24 OU Our House Incorporated Community Service Award. Presented to me, I'll read it. The most important assignment that we can have is to be called to serve. You have risen to the occasion and served your family, your community, and all mankind with a distinctive level of leadership, compassion, and dedication. Oh, I don't want that to fall. On this day, Saturday, November 15th, 2025, 24 Our House Board of Directors recognizes and honors your outstanding effort. President, CEO, George T. Hurd. And we grew up together too. And he's been having this organization for 11 years. And I've been watching him. And then this year, I got an award. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. And go get some education in my library. Thank you. Bye for now. Oh, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.